The views and opinions expressed on Betrayal, Why Did They Snap? Are those of the hosts and guests and are provided for educational, informational, and discussion purposes only. This program discusses real court cases, public news stories, and documented events as reported by reputable media sources. We do not claim to know the private thoughts, motives, mental health diagnosis, or intent of any individual unless such information has been formally established in public records or court findings. Nothing discussed on this show should be construed as legal advice, medical advice, psychological diagnosis, or professional counseling. Listeners are encouraged to seek qualified legal, medical, or mental health professionals for guidance related to their specific circumstances. While we strive for accuracy, information may evolve as cases progress, and we encourage listeners to verify facts independently. The hosts do not assert guilt, innocence, or liability beyond what has been publicly reported or adjudicated. This program is not intended to defame, harass, or harm any individual. Any commentary is focused on behaviors, patterns, and publicly known events, not personal attacks. Listener discretion is advised, as this show may include discussions of trauma, violence, betrayal, and criminal behavior. Hey guys, thanks for joining us today on Betrayal, Why Did They Snap? Every week we talk about a variety of betrayals. Oftentimes it's lies, affairs, marriages, colleagues, all kinds of stuff. Things that are shattered by deception. But sometimes betrayal doesn't end in divorce or friendships destroyed or variety of things. Sometimes betrayal ends with something far darker and far more permanent. And in today's episode, we are examining a case that shocked the country, a husband, an affair with the family's au pair, and a plan so disturbing it sounds like something out of a thriller. Fake online identities, a stranger that is lured into a home, and a wife who never realized the danger was living under her own roof, sleeping in the bed beside her. You guys, how does a person cross that line? How does someone who once promised to love and protect their family begin seeing them as the obstacle to a new life? Well, today, Laurie, McDermott, and I are going to be exploring the psychology behind betrayal cases that escalate into violence and murder. When we look at cases like Banfield, it's tempting to believe that these tragedies are completely unimaginable, that only monsters could do something like this. But the uncomfortable truth is that these stories often begin in very ordinary ways. A secret relationship, a growing resentment, a belief that happiness lies somewhere else. Most people stop there, they face the consequences. They leave their marriage, they rebuild their lives, and they accept the damage that their choices have caused. But in today's story, which is a true story happening now, he'll be sentenced May 8th, I believe. In the rarest and darkest cases, a person convinces themselves that the problem is not the betrayal. They believe the problem is the person standing in the way of their new life. And that is horrendous thought process right there. And in this case, Christine Banfield suffered that, and so did her daughter and the family of Joseph Ryan. So many lives were destroyed. This really is the brain betraying itself, and they can't turn back the clock. Okay, I am here with Miss McDermott, who has had a lot going on. So we've missed a few episodes, but that's okay, you guys. We're not going to bore you with boring stuff. So we are here today to talk about Mr. Brendan Banfield. Double murder. I think he was in an MLC. Okay. Laurie, do you want to talk about Mr. Banfield and what's going on?
I think Mr. Banfield had a serious problem. I sometimes I hear these stories and I just don't understand how someone could go so awful and dark and ugly and still be able to walk this planet. Just makes me sick, to be honest with you.
Right. Yeah. And that's true. And, I don't know if everybody, I've talked about this with some people, and not everybody knows about this case. Do you want to sort of summarize it for us?
Trina, you're really good at that. You have a very good tonality that summarizes things so well. Plus, you've got all the papers in front of you, and I got
Thank
none.
you. Thank you, yeah. Okay. I'll try to summarize it. So we've got
Your
Brendan.
voice is so interesting. Everyone will listen to your delicious words.
Okay. Well, a couple years ago, I think this happened in 2022. I don't know. Who cares what year it was? But it happened. Oh, here, I've got a timeline. Okay. So in February of 2023, well, I'm going to start with we'll go back.
Yeah,
So
so when
we've
did
got
they get here, let's preface it. They got married 19 years ago. We
Yes.
don't know the year.
So we've got Brendan and his wife, Christine. They met in college. They were college sweethearts. They got married. Had a great career. He was a deputy for the IRS. And Christine was a NICU nurse. They lived in Herndon, Virginia. Absolutely beautiful home in the suburbs in Fairfax County, where I used to live. That's where I went to college. And I can attest it's a great little area. So they had a beautiful home, great careers. They eventually had a little daughter. And so they had a little daughter. They both work. So they decided, you know what? Let's get an au pair. We will give somebody else the experience of living in the US and, having it's a really cool thing to do that. So they got a young lady from Brazil. Her name's Juliana. She was about 22, 23 years old. She came over here and became their au pair. And the mister started to have feelings for her.
Okay, do they talk about that? Like, how do you just start having feelings for someone? What happened to him and Christina that he was even capable of being open to having feelings for like, how does it like, I look at a 22-year-old and I think, how does he look at somebody and says, "Oh, this looks like a good idea"? Because wasn't he like 50?
Well, okay.
Do we know how old he was?
Oh, almost 40.
Almost 40, so he was on the young side. Okay, so a 22-year-old is kinda delicious. Makes sense.
Personally, I think he was, trending towards the midlife crisis type
Yeah,
direction.
maybe. He definitely has some wicked evil in him.
Hmm. So they eventually had an affair. I think they also went on some trips together, and I don't even know how that happened. But his wife also worked graveyard shift, so who knows? But
Oh, I didn't know that. So when you work the graveyard shift, that means you're up from 12 midnight to, like,
mhm.
7 in the morning, and then when you come home, of course, you gotta go to sleep, so you're missing life. So her husband I'm guessing her husband was feeling lonely, sad, depressed, left out.
Oh, that's so sad. Oh my god.
Which gives him every right to have a sex with his a pair.
Yes, yes. If you are feeling sad and lonely,
You can
get
have
a
access to
dog.
anything you feel.
What?
When you are sad and you are lonely, you have every right to fool around with any person in your life, even if you have a ring on your finger. It's allowed.
Yeah. So, well, that's what happened, and he concocted a plan to kill his wife. So he said, I love you, Juliana, but I can't afford to lose half my assets to my horrible wife and daughter. So
Oh, no.
we need to
No.
kill her, get her out of the picture. Sweet Christine, we're going to get her out of the picture. How are we going to do it? Well, we got to make it look like it's somebody else's idea. Like, we have to make it look like it's somebody else that kills her. And how are we going to do it? You know what we're going to do? We're going to set up a fake profile on a kinky website, a kinky sex website, and we're going to say on a BDSM site, we're going to pretend to be Christine, and we're going to be in search of somebody that wants to come over and have a, a real life style rape uh attack,
So
with
wait,
a
wait,
knife.
wait, wait. Let's go backwards though, because I've got some questions. So when did that girl come along? She came along in 2023? Is that when
I
they
think
brought her in?
2022.
2022. June? And beginning? Was it fall or was it
I don't
summer?
know. I don't know the time
Okay,
zone of.
so let's just say 2022. They
Yeah.
started having an affair 2023, and then he
No,
supposedly
2022. I
right?
think
They
by
were
Christmas,
dating?
they were having an affair because the murder takes place on February 24th of 2023.
Okay, so here's
It
what I want
happened fast.
so let's talk about this, Trina, because 'cause we're smart people.
Yeah.
He had this in mind already.
Mhm.
My guess is he wanted his wife gone anyway from the start, which is why he started having with this affair. I mean, did you see this au pair? And it suddenly wasn't that's just my take on it, that he wasn't all of a sudden like, "Oh my god, I'm in love and I have to have you." It was because it's too fast to wanna kill somebody that quickly. Think about it.
We're on.
Okay, good. And Trina, the reason I love you so much is because you're so freaking funny. And you say things that I
Well, you
just wanna
are.
make fun of too. So I love it. I love it.
Good. And we
Okay.
neither one of us take ourselves seriously. It's all about just
You
us.
can't. You
We're
can't
just
take yourself
authentic.
seriously. If you take yourself too seriously, you start to get stressed
Yeah,
because you're
exactly.
the only one in control of you, and you don't like what you're doing, so that's stressful because you're the one who has to change. Alright.
Exactly.
Do you have the letter that we should probably read to everybody?
I
I know it might be
do.
redundant, but
This
you're
is
a
a
good
it's a
reader.
it's a 14-page letter that Brendan wrote to Juliana when she was in jail. Okay,
Mm.
I'm gonna start it now.
Okay, hold on, before you start reading, how do I interrupt you so our audience hears me go, "Wait, I wanna comment on that." How do you want me to do it? Do you want me to go beep?
You can do whatever you want.
Okay, I'll go beep. Is beep a how about what should I maybe I should say we should come up with a word. Betrayal. Achoo. No.
No, you can just say, "Wait, right there." Just
Okay.
interrupt me like
Sure.
normal.
Maybe I'll come up with funny things. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, whatever comes to mind, it doesn't matter. We make the rules on this, okay? That's the cool
Damn
thing. We
damn
are
right.
all
Okay,
right.
go ahead.
I'm gonna start with his little letter.
Wait,
See,
hold on. Let's
I
start
I
this over.
wanna back up because this guy was married to his college
Yeah,
sweetheart. He has a
yeah.
baby, 3 years old, and his wife he just killed his wife, and he's writing this to somebody in jail that he's only known for, like, a year or 2, this au pair, and it just floors me that he's not remotely thinking about how he killed his wife, the fact that his wife is dead, the fact that his daughter doesn't have a mother, and
The
he's in
fact that
love,
he's an asshole
like he's infatuated with a chick that's in jail about to do 10 years in prison
who
for
helped kill
helping.
his wife,
Yeah, and yet
bad.
he can write that like, so seriously, I tell you, this is where I start Googling and researching the brain because how is it in somebody's brain that they can do this?
Trina, it's so common.
W Well,
This
that
exactly
alone is really scary.
not necessarily the murder part, but just the part of having delusions of what
Yeah,
is reality and what is not. I
yeah,
bet he's sitting in jail today, remembering all this, going, "What the hell did I do?" Now it's too late.
yep,
I like
exactly.
to say it's never too late, but in this case, you're in jail and that proceeds just a marriage. Now
Well,
your wife is dead and you're in jail. Good luck, pal.
and at this point, he's at home,
Oh,
and he's
is that
writing
a
to her.
jail?
He's in jail now, but this letter came out, like a year ago or something like that, before he went to prison or before he got into jail. So,
Okay, we understand. Okay, now go
he
ahead and read
writes
it.
it to his little au pair right after stabbing his wife to death, um, um, to Juliana. "You keep telling me you are replaceable, but you are different from any person I've ever met, any person I've ever had a relationship, male or female. You became my best friend. I never wanted to be apart from you. I wanted to do everything with you, show you the world. I still do. I want to share my life with you. I want to be your husband, have children with you. I didn't want more children before. You changed that with me. I know you will be an incredible mother." And this is a woman that helped kill 2 people. She'll be an incredible mom.
Hold on. Let
And
me
this is
breathe and laugh here. Ah, this is the delusion.
totally
This is
delusional.
this
But
is what
here's a little insight because his next paragraph says, "My thoughts are all over the place. So I'm going to try to make sense, but I might jump around. That's the hard part of not using a computer to rewrite and organize. So he's freestyle writing all this to her.
It was
And,
chicken scratch,
the
couldn't
fact
read
that
it
he
either.
said his thoughts are all over the place because that's typical midlife crisis, their thoughts are all over the place. Um, they don't timeline, something could happen 2 or 3, 5 years ago, and they feel like it happened yesterday. Their time it's crazy. There is so much in the brain that we don't know and aren't addressing. It's a big deal. And then let's see, I have another little section. It's a 14-page letter, so I won't bore everybody with the whole thing because it's just nonsensical. Um, here's another little section on page 4. Things I only shared with you. I think you are the only person that truly loved me. Oh, and then he talks about a Matchbox 20 song.
What
He
he's
says,
saying what he's saying, he sounds like he's 18 and he's back. Just maybe even 14. He's in high school, he's in grammar school, and he's in love with somebody. And, when you're young and you see someone, you're in love with them just because of how they look or
yeah,
how that woman makes him feel. He doesn't know her. He doesn't know where she came from in Brazil. He doesn't know her parents. He doesn't
yeah,
know where she went to high school or what she was like as a kid. He doesn't care. All he cares about is how he feels when she's around or when he's with her or when they're together or how he feels when he's writing a letter to her. He is completely delusional. I don't know another better word for that.
it's so true. And that's a funny thing because we hear that a lot of folks in midlife crisis start doing this thing where they send letters, I mean, not letters, send videos and songs, like song lyrics to the other person.
Mhm.
It's so high school.
I have one husband whose wife has access to the husband's Spotify account. He doesn't know it. And so she will listen to when he downloads a new song. The wife will know when he's fighting with his girlfriend based on the music he puts it into his little earplay.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that and she'll tell me, "Oh my god, they must be fighting. He's downloaded these angry songs." It
Wow.
is the mind of an MLC man that is just out of control.
It is it needs so much, what do you call it? Investigation. It needs so much it's such a area ripe for, what do you call it,
Study,
Study.
debriefing,
Yeah,
investigative work,
yes, study,
mental
thank you.
acuity.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
and then he says, "I never felt comfortable to share myself with anyone besides you. Your openness, your honesty, comforting ways were something that, he never experienced before." And it's like, "Really, dude? You were married to somebody, your college sweetheart." I find this very hard to believe. You don't just go and plan a wedding, have a life with somebody. They were married a long time, what, 15 years before they got pregnant. So they shared a lot together. And then the struggle to get pregnant probably, I mean, it is just, yeah, like you said, delusional.
he rewrote history in order to fall in love with his au pair. The
Yeah.
au pair showed up, and it was like a breath of fresh air, and she probably paid attention to him and said, "Oh," and or maybe she didn't pay attention, she was just new, and he
Yeah.
looked at her like, "Oh," and something shifted in his head because he was going through something, and that's where it starts.
Yeah. Page 5. I never experienced this before. You said you thought I was cold before. That's interesting. So at some point, she had said to him that she thought he was cold.
When
Isn't
he
that
started
interesting?
coming on to her, telling her she was wonderful, and she was looking at him saying, "Wow, you are wonderful too." And then she probably in a close moment said, "I thought you were really cold in the beginning," which means the husband had no intention of doing that from the beginning. So somewhere from and I don't know how much time started between the moment she arrived to the moment he started going after her. That moment there, it could have been a month. I have wives whose husbands send them a letter saying, "You're the greatest thing that ever happened to me. I'm in love with you." And like 2 weeks later, he's saying he wants out of the marriage.
Oh, yeah. I have a desk full of little cards from my, former husband, the same thing. You would never have known. And then like you said, 2 days later, boom, bam, bye, you know? And it's
They
like, "Wait, what
snapped.
about the thing you just wrote me yesterday? What about the vacation we just booked?"
He snapped. What
Snapped.
was that?
Yeah,
How
yeah,
did that happen?
it's crazy.
Do we know much about Brandon and his past and what was
Uh,
going on in his life? Did someone die?
I think
Not
there
his wife.
was. There
Someone
was
else.
something. We'd have to go back. But,
Okay.
and this is what he says in this letter then, how he never experienced that, and, he said, "I needed the warmth of your heart to thaw me."
Is that a movie song?
I don't know.
He stole that somewhere. He doesn't
Well,
seem intelligent.
he said no, he was really smart guy. He was IRS agent. Um, I
They don't
needed
what IRS agent know that you know loves love songs?
oh, I'm sure plenty, plenty.
The
Uh,
answer is none. I
oh,
don't
no, sorry, IRS agents out there. We know you're rock and rollers. We know you're cool. Um, okay, he
alright.
said, "I needed the warmth of your heart to thaw me. You allowed me to be myself, to love you, to be romantic, to feel vulnerable, and then be supported by you. This is by far the most important part of our relationship to me." As
That
I'm
he wait,
crying,
listen to that. Did you hear that?
yes,
That
and
she supports him.
yep,
That by far is the most important thing of our relationship.
that's right.
Is that what a relationship is? You supporting me? Or is it us being it together?
Well, and it's right there. You realize his mind is in that MLC state where they at the life raft. She's the life raft that is supporting him
Mhm.
because without her, he's out there, looking for the next, what do you call it? Hit, drug,
Oh,
whatever, you know,
yeah, the next high, the next
the
woman that he's
next
gonna
high.
jump
Exactly. The
into.
next life raft. And, he says, "Yeah, you're my support. You brought out the tremendous love I show for you. I just want to take care of you and keep you forever." Uh, and then
So
he
I
tells
so I feel good forever. Can I interrupt and change the subject for a second?
yeah.
One of my wife's husbands, he's with another woman, and he told his wife when he left her, "I'm never
Wait,
getting
wait,
remarried."
newsflash, Lori, almost
Yeah.
all your wives have husbands that are with another woman. You're the
True.
wife expert.
No, but that's a good point. I shouldn't but not everyone knows that. But so the point is, he's about to get married. He proposed to this other woman, and his wife said to him, "You're getting married again?" He goes, "I know. She really wants it." And he goes, "And honestly, I wanna feel this way forever." What does that tell you about how that marriage is gonna go?
Wow.
When 70% of all second marriages fail, and he's sitting there going, "I really don't want this. She does, and the only reason I'm doing it is because I'm high on it." It's not gonna last forever, and his mom said to the wife, she goes, "He gave you half his money, and now he's got half, and once he marries her, he's gonna get another half." So he's
Right.
gonna have, like, 1/4, and he's gonna be alone and miserable.
Yeah. It's so sad. It's crazy. And actually, on that 70% statistic, if she's the affair partner, I think the failure rate is more like 92 to 95%. It's really high.
For an affair. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're
So,
right.
you know what? These folks, I mean, yeah, they lose their net worth here, there, and everywhere. It's really sad. Not to mention the emotional impact on children and friends and family. It's
And
horrendous.
that's what happens, Trina. They do this, and it takes everybody down. Look
Mhm.
what this stupid Brendan did by having a fling with the au pair. Now, his wife's in heaven, his kid is with someone, and he's in jail.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Yeah.
That's a 10 on the bad scale.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy because we'll do another topic sometime where it's because some people feel like instead of just getting divorced, they need to kill the spouse. Like that's such a great idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
that's really wise.
it's like, really? Like that's gonna go well? Um,
But
get
that's what their
divorced.
minds think this is the answer. This is
Yeah.
having an affair is not a
And
solution
it
for
just
your
shows you
marriage.
how poorly they're thinking,
Mhm.
although here's the deal, because I was studying, how come like when I was growing up, everybody was doing the oh, I killed somebody by reason of insanity, right? He can't qualify for that. His lawyers would get nowhere with that because he pre-planned this so well, it wasn't insanity. You know what I
Mm.
mean? They
Yeah, so
they did the fake social media thing for the wife. They did so much that was, well thought out, that's
yeah.
not a, what do you call it? That's not a,
You know,
insanity event.
I hadn't thought of that before, that's really interesting. Because an insanity plea, is that like an immediate thing? E
You really have to show, and that's the thing, because to me, when somebody's in a midlife crisis state or whatever you wanna call his state of, complete mental delusion, cognitive dissonance or something, I mean, to me, there is, a level of insanity, but because
past months and years.
yeah,
S That's
yeah,
why I'm curious, like, I didn't think of that, but, like, his lawyers could pose insanity on long term.
mhm,
I wonder if, like, a midlife I mean, I'm just talking, and
yeah,
what if
no,
the
we need
midlife
to have an
what
expert
if
on
a
here.
lawyer what if a lawyer said, "You know what? He's having a midlife crisis."
Well,
And
exactly. Yeah,
but there's no data or studies on it that would prove and I would not want to be on the witness stand, supporting the husband's insanity because screw you. You killed her. Sorry,
well,
fucker,
that's
go to
the thing.
bed.
So, there's no defense for it because he had the rational enough thought to plan this very well, very well.
Wow.
Even as going to the nearby McDonald's and having his little breakfast, so he'd be minutes from the house when he gets the call saying, "Oh my god, there's an intruder." He planned it so well. Um,
That is, it's Trina, it's pure evil.
mhm, it is evil.
You can call it insanity, but I say it's you've got someone in you that's not yours.
Yeah, yeah. So
We
I mean, these are all things that should be studied, you know? Um,
get on it, girl.
huh? We're on
I
yeah,
said, "I am on it." I wake up every day and study this stuff.
I know, it's just
It's a
because it's
little
such a
obsessive.
mystery,
It is a
you know?
mystery.
And to protect this society and cultures going forward, this really does need to be studied and corrected and treated so that I mean, poor Christine, my god, at the peak of her life, a new mom, and she's killed by her own husband because he has a mental breakdown? What's wrong
Yeah.
with that picture? And that's just one example. I mean, you can
What
watch Dateline in 2020 all 24 hours a day, and almost every one is about similar stuff, These spouses gone wild.
evil. So, what about the young man, Ryan was his name?
Yeah, Ryan. Mhm.
Who was just set up because he was into fetishes.
Joseph Ryan. Mhm.
Joseph Ryan.
And
He
we don't even know how into fetishes he was. He just saw a request by somebody, sounded
on
like
a
fun.
fetish website. You don't go to a fetish website if you're not into fetishes, right?
Well,
Right.
I mean,
Maybe he was just
I
surfing.
shop on the tractor sites and stuff, and I don't have a farm and I don't drive a tractor, but sometimes I go on those websites for tractors, you know,
Do you think you
big
have to have, like, a
shovels.
passcode to get in?
No, I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't know, I'm
Uh,
curious. The fetish thing is I mean, I don't even know what a fetish could be, but I think it's interesting that they nabbed him for that, and then he came to see her for
so
that reason,
so
and that
sad.
it's like you think about, O.J. Simpson
Yeah.
and his wife, and the young man who came to see her
Yeah,
Nicole, and he was just in the wrong place, the wrong time, and
totally.
thankfully, his his parents were the advocates that really made this case a bigger thing than it was, and if you think about this situation, Ryan's mom, Mr. Ryan's mom, I can't even imagine.
Oh, my god, I know, I
To
know.
find out your son has a fetish and then that killed him.
Mhm. And there's nothing wrong with having the fetish situation, these are, what do you call it, consenting adults, and they're doing their thing, and,
Absolutely. I
he's doing
agree
it
with you
well,
completely.
and,
Yep.
it is really sad if he's now people think, "Oh my god,"
It's
that's
awful.
that's not
It
how he should be remembered, you know?
No. That's what I'm saying. It's like he might have been a really nice guy, had a good
Oh,
job,
yeah.
had good friends, and then they find out not only was he murdered, but he had this thing that brought him there. And
Mhm,
that just tarnishes you, and it's like, God.
mhm,
Sometimes I say, like, if you don't wanna tell everyone what you're doing, don't do it.
mhm.
'Cause if something happens and it finds out, it's like, is it
Oh,
worth
yeah. I used to work for Business Wire, and we had a saying, Warren Buffett says this, "If whatever you're doing, if you don't wanna see it on the front page of the newspaper, then don't do it, because then
Yeah.
you know it's wrong." It's true, especially in
So
today. The one thing that really gets me in this letter, I do wanna say, this is what he says. He says to her, this is on page 8. I will never be embarrassed with you. The fact that you have to even say that, like, to me, that means in his mind, he is embarrassed, His former wife, the wife he killed, was a nurse, a NICU nurse, and had a great standing in the community, and now he's, has
What was that line he said? I
I
will
will never
never
be
be
embarrassed with you.
okay, that's
And then he says,
fascinating.
our relationship will be very public. Well, that's for sure.
Did he say that?
Yes, he says, our relationship will be very public after this. I am super proud of you, proud of being with you. Fuck anyone that isn't on our side.
So,
You
what
are a
is
fucking hero. And he
wait, hold on, let's
underlines
go
that.
back.
It puts it in all caps.
Wait,
And it
hold on,
says,
you're going too fast. I wanna dive into something. You said he said about tell me the embarrassment part again,
yeah,
one
I'll
more
read
time.
it over. This is on page 8 of his letter. I will never be embarrassed with you. Our relationship will be very public after this. I am super
I
proud of you.
I will never be embarrassed. And then he says, "I'm super proud of you," which is all it says is that whatever his wife was doing as a nurse or whatever, something with her or maybe something with his own self made him feel less than when he was around his wife. But that wasn't his wife, that was how he felt when he
No,
was
that's
with his
his
wife.
own.
Yeah, like maybe he felt like he was and I'm just talking out loud because a lot of midlife crisis men get this way. It's
Mhm.
their wife is doing really well in the community. They've got a great job, and the husband next to the wife feels embarrassed
Yeah.
because he doesn't have a good job or he's not doing well and she's shining brighter than he is. So I'm wondering if maybe that's where that word embarrassment came from. Just
Hmm.
diving between the holes.
I interpret that I will never be embarrassed with you. I feel like he means embarrassed to be dating her.
Okay.
And you
So
take it as embarrassed about himself.
yeah, yeah, because usually that's the important part.
Well,
In a
no, you're
cri
right. No, you're totally right.
where he's with his wife, and every time he goes out with her, everyone's like, "Oh, Christina, you're doing
Yeah.
great."
Yeah,
And he's
yeah.
like, "I'm not.
Right.
Nobody's telling me I'm great. This
Yeah.
is embarrassing." Right? Sorry, I love to use those voices. I'm sure that's exactly how he
Not to
sounded.
mention the IRS, no dig to the IRS, but yeah, people are, not excited about the IRS either. 'Cause
Oh,
that's
yeah,
your
they wanna come up and say because you cannot go to a social environment working for the IRS and people come up to you and say because everyone wants to, like, negotiate and, "Oh, you work for this thing? Oh, well, let's trade." You
yeah,
can't trade with the guy at the IRS, he's got nothing to give you
yeah.
except jail time if you
Yeah,
do wrong or screw on your taxes.
and
Right,
and that's
you don't wanna tell your secrets to the
and then
IRS.
yeah, and you're right on this, and then he says, "I am super proud of you, proud of being with you." So, really, he's proud to be with her because then he can be the man.
Bingo. That's it. That's exactly it. That's part of this
That's
whole
totally
thing.
it, yep,
Huh?
and
Because
then
when he's
fuck
with her,
anyone that isn't on our side, so obviously somebody's not on his side.
because
Uh,
she's young and she's, in the younger she might not be pretty, but she's pretty in the younger field because he's so old. Compared to her, he's gonna look like a
well, he
a
can't
macho guy,
even see.
finally. Huh?
Yeah,
He's gonna look like a macho guy, finally.
yeah,
People are gonna admire him and respect him because he's with this young girl.
yes.
That didn't work out, did it?
No. And then, he calls her on page 9, "You are a fucking hero." That is gonna be what everyone realizes. A hero.
I'm feeling sick. What the dirty, disgusting, horrible man.
It's crazy. And then on page 13, he ends with, "I think of my dream girl. That is what you are. I will fight forever for you. Um, I do my best to take care of you, provide for you, surprise you, love you with all my heart. I have a lot of joy in surprising you, trying to impress you, trying to share my love and gratitude for you. When we're together, everything feels right. I will keep dreaming of my dream girl because I know she is my life. Love, Brendan." That's page 13 on his little letter.
I wonder
So
if
sad. It's so sad.
we need to save this letter because, like, in 20 years, I would love to visit him in jail and say to him, "Do you remember this letter? Do you remember writing it?" Like, what would the response be?
Well, I understand that when people come out of their crisis, timelines are totally warped, and they just don't get it. They just don't see it the way we see it from a
Yeah,
rational perspective. He
and
just
now he's in jail, so everyone else did see it differently. But isn't that interesting, though,
Oh
that
my
he would
god.
write all those words? And it's rare that a midlife crisis man will actually jot down his thoughts. I do have a few
Is
letter.
it?
Yeah.
I didn't know
They
that.
yeah, it's not men in general just aren't big writers,
Mhm.
and when they're in love, they do tend to write, and yeah, that was a big ass long letter, wasn't it?
It was.
I'm
And,
amazed you read that. I could barely make out the first page, that's why I stopped.
yeah,
You
it's
can
well,
read, she can scratch.
didn't read the whole 14 pages, but you guys will we can put the link on our, somewhere here too, if you wanna read the whole letter. But, the one thing, what's scary? I tell you, all your wives and the husbands that have, maybe a wife in MLC, any of us who've survived, who've come out of, or now divorced or separated or whatever, the f we should just all be glad that we didn't have a spouse that had lost their mind to this level and killed us.
I
'Cause it
wonder if
happens, you know?
yeah,
Obviously, it happened in Fairfax, Virginia, you know, a few years ago, and it happens every day, and
yeah.
that is what's crazy. And, so that's what we will be talking more about, trying to figure out those things, because that's scary. We don't need more innocent people to be killed like this.
Yeah, I don't even know how you could even see the danger signs, like, if I was talking to Christina or if I was her friend, what was she saying? Was she saying, "My husband's just getting weird"? Did she know they were having
I
an
wish we
affair?
knew.
Like,
Man,
what
I
were the
wish we knew.
signs that she saw of what was going on, right? Because, like, how do you even foresee those warnings? And, sometimes it's just a feeling in your gut, right? All the bomb drop people that you have on your show,
Mhm,
I'm sure people are talking about, like, "Well, I kinda knew, I had a feeling."
mhm.
So I wonder what did we get any interviews on Christina's friends of
Mm,
thoughts she
th
might have had?
there are some interviews out there, and, I don't believe anybody, said that she was suspicious of anything going on, but I'd
And
have
you
to
know what? To be honest, I mean, to be really thoughtful for her, it's better that way. I don't know how I'm not do you know exactly how she died? Like,
well,
how they
and you know what? Yeah, Joseph how she died, exactly. Joseph Ryan was, doing the fake assault, the fake rape attack because he thought that's what she wanted to do from the website,
Oh.
and, so she was fighting him off because she thought he was an intruder, and then, Brendan walks in to the rescue, and she yells out, "Brendan, he's got a gun," or, "Brendan, he's got a" no, "Brendan, he's got a knife," something to that effect, 'cause he had a knife. Yeah, that's what she yelled out, "Brendan, he has a knife." And so she thought her husband was there to rescue her. Brendan had pulled his gun out of his holster because he's an IRS agent with a gun. He shoots Joseph Ryan once. Joseph falls on the floor. There's moaning. The au pair calls for 911, and then on that first 911 call, they can hear him moaning in the background. That's because he wasn't dead yet. So then Brendan, goes to his wife. He could see she's not dead. There was just the fake attack, right? So he takes the knife from, Joseph. He takes the knife and he stabs her 7 times in the neck, in the jugular, blood everywhere, blood everywhere. He then gets that blood, rolls it on, onto Joseph to make it look like Joseph stabbed her. Then because he tells the au pair to hang up on 911 the first time. Then he says, after that's done, 15 minutes later, he says, "Okay, Juliana, now call 911." And now she calls 911 again saying, "Oh, somebody was stabbed. I don't know what to do, etcetera." The police come and it goes from there. And,
Wait, she called
well,
the first time. Did they know sh like, I
she hung up because he told her, the husband, Brendan told her, "Hang up," because he wasn't
could you
done.
hear that on the
No, I don't think you hear that, but you hear the 911 call they can hear somebody moaning in the background. They know it's Joseph Ryan, or they say that's who they think it is. And then, um, after the blood is on Joseph and he's still alive, and so Brendan apparently tells Juliana to get the gun and shoot him again. And so she shoots him a second time, and that's the bullet that kills him. And, yeah, so that's the bullet that kills him. And, so the wife is stabbed to death, and Joseph is dead from the gunshot wounds. But it's made to look as if Joseph was an intruder attacking the wife. And so the police do buy that
That
story.
was the fetish.
That wa that was the yeah, and that was the story. So then 8 months later, the police have some reason, I guess, to come back to the house, and they discover that, wow, the au pair's negligees, all her little sleepwear, all her clothes are now moved into the master bedroom. There's no sign of Christine at all. Photos of her and Brendan are all gone. It's now photos of her, the au pair, and Brendan as a couple. So she's now living in his bedroom. And I guess that's when the red flags go off that, uh-oh, this is interesting.
So if he wouldn't have moved her in there, we might not know this.
I don't know. I think there was one school of thought from the police that was suspicious of her and him from the beginning.
Huh.
But,
So sad.
yeah, it's crazy. He had a really well thought out plan.
And so now I understand the fetish. Can you imagine having a fetish where you sneak into someone's house? I mean, what a way to set someone up.
Mhm. I know. People need to be careful out there
In
because
so
newsflash,
many ways,
people are
Trina.
not what they appear.
Wow.
It's just so sad. It's heartbreaking. He was a young guy, Joseph Ryan. I don't know how old he was, but let me see if yeah, I don't know. But, it's just horrifying. It's just
Come in with
horrendous.
a knife and, rope to tie me up.
Mhm.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Wow.
So that is our and I have some statistics I'll mention a little later on this. It's just horrifying. So,
I did not know that. I can't unthink that.
well, I think Brendan is going to be sentenced around May 8th, and he's charged with double murder and also child abuse because his little 3-year-old was down in the basement while all this was happening. And this trial, it was a 3-week trial. It took the jury 9 hours to get to a verdict. Just 9 hours, that's pretty good.
Wow. I'm blown away. I need to see a Dateline NBC episode on this to get all the details.
Yeah, I think there's lots.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
It's a good
but,
story. Okay. So, what's our summation on that? What do you think how could we have made how could life have gone to not have Brendan Snap?
I don't know. It's really sad.
And I don't if Christine didn't even know he was going through something, maybe yeah, no one
And
these
here's a couple, they're both high-paying professionals, great house, new little baby. It's just so they lived in a great neighborhood in Virginia, and this is what happens.
you know how they would have figured it out? Sorry, I'm just thinking
Uh-huh,
this out loud. I love discoveries. They
uh-huh.
would have figured the police would have figured it out when they found out that this Ryan guy was on a fetish site and that they had the connection to Christine.
No, that's how
Like,
they found it because they found that he
um,
was on that site, and they saw the conversations back and forth, and so it made them think, "Oh, okay, it was legit." You know what I mean?
but how long did she have that account open for? 5 minutes?
No, no, I think it was a few months, like a month or 2.
Christine?
Mhm.
Ah,
Fake.
okay.
It
Well,
was a fake
still a
account.
month, so that's a lot of planning.
Yeah, it was a fake account, and there were a lot of messages back and forth. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was but they investigated that and discovered where the messages were coming from, what laptops and stuff like that.
What an idiot.
Mhm.
You can't do nothing these days without
But
knowing
it's
or
but thank
what
God it's sort of, you know, I don't wanna say he was an idiot, but I feel like, thank God there's, I don't know, checks and balances or something, because otherwise this guy would be scot-free, living with the girlfriend, nobody doing the time for Christine or Joseph. You know what I mean?
I bet it
Thank
was like
God.
that. I
The
bet it
truth
was like
came out.
yeah, I bet it was like that for years, like in the '70s, '80s, '60s,
Oh,
'40s,
yeah.
'30s.
Yeah.
People would just disappear.
Yes. Still does happen.
So, I took a class called Citizens Police Academy,
Uh-huh.
and every time a police officer would talk about stuff, they'd say, "Well, the bad guys." And I'm like, "Bad guys?" Like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, and the bad guys." I'm like, "Do you guys use that word? Like, bad guys?"
Do
They're like,
they?
"Yeah." Yes.
Wait,
They're
was this in the recent or was this like 100 years ago that you
this is,
attended this class?
last, 6 months ago.
Okay. So they really do say bad guys? I thought
Yes.
I was the only one that used that term, and I always feel like so lame when I say bad guys because
Yeah,
I
like
feel
you're
like
a
it
kid.
should be a more updated word.
Well, like you're 7 and you've got a little fake gun you're using as your finger, right?
Yeah.
Like, "I get the bad guys." But that's what they say, they call them
Huh,
bad guys.
huh. So what
And
were
I
they
heard
saying about bad guys?
everything. Well, the bad guys, if you're gonna be here, the bad guys will do this. There's
Oh.
good guys and there's bad guys. And the
It's
bad
true.
guys
It's
do
just
that.
like the world is good and evil.
Mhm. But isn't that interesting? Like, they couldn't have found a different word. But no, they call them bad guys because you're either a good guy or you're a bad guy,
That's right.
or you're just a bad guy. Sorry, you're just a good guy making bad decisions,
That's right. That's true.
bad
Yeah.
choices.
Mhm.
Not a bad person, just stupid.
Yeah. But you know what? If you were Christine's mom or dad or her daughter, I would not be considering Brendan a good guy making bad choices. I
I
right
would
now,
find a way to
I
kill him in jail.
am so mad. Yeah,
I
it's
would
really
find a
sad.
way to kill him in jail, Trina. I would find a way for him to well, I mean,
Well, I wouldn't. I would not want him killed in jail. I would in prison. I'd want him tortured. I really believe in torture for bad guys.
but maybe being in jail is torture.
Yeah, maybe.
You can't get out, you can't go
Mhm.
to a movie, you can't go to Burger King,
Can't
you
see his girlfriend.
can't see your girlie.
Mhm.
Wow,
It's
I
so sad, and one day, he's gonna wake up out of the tunnel and go, "What the hell? Why am I in these clothes and I'm behind bars?
and
My
to
daughter's 10 years old, 12 years old, won't talk to me." You know what I
be
mean? It's
yeah,
it that's why just to think how these things happen in somebody's head is just your brain betrays you? It's when the brain betrays itself. It's really
wouldn't it be cool to, go to the jail and interview people like Scott Peterson or other people that betrayed their wives to find out what happened?
yeah,
"Oh, I didn't do it." I mean, are they still gonna say that?
I don't know. I mean, like,
Is
I don't know. If they're not gonna admit it if they wanna be up for parole.
true, is that even an option for some of
And
these
it
guys?
is. I think Scott Peterson was up for parole a few years ago. Um, but,
Mhm.
you know what? We will because, we do have plans to take our show on the road, so maybe that will be one of the things. We'll go hit Folsom Prison, which is only 20 minutes from my house, and, or we'll go to another prison and maybe see who we can talk to.
I would love that.
When our viewers like that. If hey, viewers out there, if you have, listeners out there, if you have people you'd like us to talk to or stories you'd wanna hear more on, just let us know. Write in your comments so we can help you out. That's what we're here for, is to lift the veil on betrayal and find out why did they snap, and what happens when they realize they snapped.
Maybe we could find someone who's been in jail for a long time and is gonna die who did do something to his wife.
Mhm.
Part of their grieving process where they, confess or whatever,
Yeah.
to find like, "Okay, tell us. What happened? Like, what's the truth now? Or what do you wanna say now that you're leaving soon?" Right? Maybe
Mhm.
even someone on death row
Yeah.
who did do something to their wife. It's gotta be like on the wife kinda thing,
Yeah.
family.
Behind every headline like this is a real family that believed they were safe, a spouse who never saw the danger coming, children who will carry the scars forever. Betrayal may begin in secrecy, but it rarely stays contained. The damage spreads outward through families, communities, and generations, and that's why we talk about it. In the end, cases like this leave us with a haunting question. How does someone go from sharing a life, a home, children, memories, to seeing the very people they promised to love and protect as obstacles to be removed? The answer is rarely one moment of madness. It's a slow drift. A lie here, a secret there, a fantasy that begins to feel more real than the life they built. And by the time reality finally crashes back in, bam, the damage is already done. Most people hear stories like this and think, That could never happen in my life. But almost every tragedy begins in a place that once looked completely ordinary, just like this: a marriage, a family, a neighborhood, a home that felt safe, until one person decided that the life they wanted was more important than the lives they had already promised to protect.